If you have a crush on a guy at school and you really like him and he doesn't like you back and you're trying to make him like you're totally messing up his right to have free will. That just goes to show you that these law of attraction things are kind of... He ended up like literally stalking me and becoming like very different in the way that he interacted with me. And in the beginning, I loved it. I thought like, oh, it's working, it's great, it's awesome. But all right. Let's think. Hey guys, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video it's necessary for you guys to hear because all of this time when I've been on this channel, when I've been promoting subliminal messages, I have never really gone into depth or detail about the subliminals that I don't think that you guys should be using. And because of that, I feel like I may have led people to a path of just using subliminals and using them blindly. So I want to clarify my position, and I've tried to do this before, but I have gotten a lot of like, I don't want to say hate because I don't think it's really hate. I think people are just either confused or upset at what I'm saying, so they take it out as like hatred or anger. But I've gotten a lot of backlash for just saying this, but I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it again. I do not condone using subliminals to attract your crush, to get your ex back, become seductive, to become sexy, those types of things that are really prominent on YouTube right now. I do not condone that. Now, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell people what to do because I don't think that's my place. A lot of people don't know the depth of the spiritual realm or even believe in it, even though they use subliminals, which activate the spirit. So it's kind of hard to express the fact that the spiritual realm is real to someone who doesn't believe it. But there are things that are unseen, unknown. There is going to be a lot of people who are going to say, well, if you just block it out with your thoughts, or if you just think only positive thinking, that you're not going to have these things come to you. But you could be as positive as you want, and you could still get possibly entities on your auric field from listening to certain types of subliminals. And it can open you up to being overtaken by sleep paralysis, depression, anxiety, and things like that if you don't understand what you're doing. So the reason that you shouldn't be using subliminals to get your crush back is because there are entities that are going to take advantage of the fact that you're opening yourself up to becoming more lustful after someone, and those entities are called succubus entities. Succubus entities are totally real entities that can attach to your auric field. They're often portrayed in movies as being very super seductive entities, and such as the Lilith demon. If you guys have ever watched any type of fantasy movies, a lot of times they do portray these succubus entities, and they show them as having a very cloak of like beauty, or just having a cloak of like innocentness, and then in a few days they become more and more evil, and they start to take their victim and they start to drain the energy from that victim, but the victim is seduced by the succubusness of that entity and the seduction and the sexual energy that entity brings, and then that person gets their energy gets sucked away to them, and that's very real. Okay, so you guys have to understand that because we are spiritual beings, because we are made by God, we have this spirit, and our spiritual energy is very sacred and has to be protected at all times. And there's a lot of things that you can do that drain your sexual energy, such as watching porn, such as masturbation, fornication, any types of things like that drain your sexual energy and make you less and less be, like the the best version of yourself, because you're going to have less of that energy and you're going to become tired and more susceptible to demonic attacks or things like that, or just have less energy in general, which isn't good. So succubuses have been around since like literally the dawn of time. They're just demonic entities. And there are even subliminals out there for getting your crush back that are like, this will put a succubus entity into you. So those are 100% off limits to anyone who's, you know, not trying to do that, or of God, or just, you know, aware that that's a really bad idea. If you put that into your subconscious, it will happen. You can try and block that out, but the thing is, like, for something like that, when you're purposely listening to it day in and day out, you're not gonna block that out. That's not something that you guys would block out. If you have a crush on a guy at school and you really like him and he doesn't like you back and you're trying to make him like you're totally messing up his right to have free will. And just because you think that you're a part of everyone else in the universe doesn't mean that you can just change someone's actions, because murder is still illegal, you know, killing someone's still illegal, because we all are separate entities. We all have a separate consciousness. We're not all really the same person, and a lot of that is New Age deception, because people constantly say that they think, okay, like, I'm the same person as this person, so I can do whatever I want, and we all create our own reality. That just goes to show you that these law of attraction things are kind of bullshit. Basically, the law of attraction is saying, like, everyone is you pushed out is false, because everyone's not you pushed out. We're all our individual person, and you're still accountable for your own actions. So I just want to share with you guys some of the personal experiences from people who are validating negative experiences with using attract to crush subliminals. Some comments that I got from people who used attract to crush subliminals, they had the same experiences that I did, where the guy got obsessed with them, stalked them, and stuff like that. And then also that they had some sleep paralysis and stuff like that. So these sexual and succubus and incubus entities will basically latch on to you if you're going to use these types of subliminals, or just doing anything in general that is a very lustful thing. I'm not completely against all attractive subliminals. I'm just against the ones that talk about getting a succubus, getting a lot of sexual energy, very seductive types of wording, because that is exactly what a succubus entity is going to look for in a victim. I'm not joking about this. I know that this is going to be hard to swallow for people because they don't believe in the spiritual realm, but if you have thoughts and you can't see your thoughts, but you still have thoughts, that means the spiritual realm exists. These entities bank on the fact that most people are very naive. They get their information from a lot of LOA YouTubers who frankly just have no real experience with what they're speaking of other than reading books. And the sleep paralysis is a result of the entity basically overtaking the person and messing with the person in order to get more loose energy from that person. So when you listen to these subliminals, you're definitely opening yourself up. A subliminal is not anything to be taken lightly, and it's manipulating the spiritual realm, and you should be aware of what you're doing instead of just thinking that everything is safe and normal. I used to find nothing wrong with them, and I used to use them on one occasion to get my crush back, but it was a terrible experience, and he did come back, but it was not in the same person. He wasn't the same person. So basically, if you're taking someone else's free will and you're making them like you when they don't like you, you're basically doing a love spell, and that's black magic, because everyone has their own free will, so you need to leave that alone. And secondly, I've had very bad experiences where I did get my ex back from using a subliminal. We had broken up and I really just couldn't get over it. Like, I just wanted to get him back into my life, so I understand where you guys are coming from. But what happened is he ended up like literally stalking me and becoming like very different in the way that he interacted with me, and just showing me way different types of affection than he had before. And in the beginning, I loved it. I thought like, oh, it's working, it's great, it's awesome. After that, I was like, it became so much, and it just seemed so unreal and fake that I didn't want him in my life like that at all. And I stopped doing all the things and the subliminals, and it basically just faded away to the point where he went back to how he felt before, like, about me. and that was okay. But it was just like he just became so obsessive, and a lot of the subliminals had affirmations for like obsessive, etc. And it was really bad, and it was just not worth it. In any way you slice the cake, it's just taking someone's God-given free will and intentionally doing magic on them, intentionally doing things that would change the course of their sovereignty, and you're doing it for a very selfish reason. If that person voluntarily left your life, they had their own reasons that made it okay for them to leave your life, and you really have no right to be using magic. You know, you can go and talk to them and stuff like that, but they're not for your own health, they're not for your own well-being. Is not gonna be okay, and it's not gonna manifest in good things for you guys.